Let us start with the practical demonstration for AWS Aurora. All right. So yeah, let's get started. So the first thing is let's go to the RDS first. And the first thing that we want to do is we are going to create one database. All right. So let's click on create database. Okay. Okay. Here we have two sort of option for Amazon Aurora, that is Aurora MySQL compatible and second is PostgreSQL compatible. Let's go with MySQL compatible. However, feel free to experiment with Postgre as well. The methods are same as we are going to do in MySQL compatible version, right? And why we are choosing Aurora over the standard one, because we get the compatible versions also, right? If you click over here in the drop down, you can see Aurora is already compatible with the released version, which you can select. All right. Now, when it comes to templates, again we have two sort of templates: production and dev test. Here we don't have free tier, so let's check dev test. Okay, and let us write the cluster name. So I'll write RDS AURORA Aurora cluster. Okay, and in terms of master username, it would be admin, and here we want we won't be managing the secrets with the AWS secret manager. We would be giving it a defined password, and that would be password. Done. Again, I'll confirm the password. Okay. Next. Now here it is giving two options, that is cluster or storage option, that is IO optimized and standard. All right. It's the same configuration storage option that we learned earlier in EC2. Okay, so that's the same that we have here. So let's go with the standard one. And when I scroll down here, we have three options: serverless, memory optimized, and burstable. So we are going to go with the burstable one. However, when you select serverless v2, it is basically like you're just defining your minimum maximum range. So it is ideal for the ones where we don't even know like how much traffic it will take. So at that time we'll define the minimum and maximum is ECUs, okay, the units. So yeah, we can select serverless, but now let's proceed with the burstable one. And here we will select the dbt3 medium. Okay, and here we have two sort of option, that is multi-AZ deployment, and first it create a replica on reader node in different availability zones. So basically what it does, it will create two nodes. One is writer mode and one is reader mode. And in reader mode, most what will happen is the traffic which is just specifically for read purpose will be redirected there, and the traffic which is actually writing the DB scripts will be redirected, right? So basically it is doing that thing. And also we learned in the theory that it will create a replicas at the same time. Okay, so that is also coming to handy. So when I scroll down, let us keep all the things as by default. And here there is new thing that you will find, that is network type. So in network type, we have two sort of option, that is IPv4 and second is dual stack. We will be going with IPv4, but what do we mean by dual stack is we have IPv4 and IPv6. So in that case, we can select dual stack, but for now in our demonstration, we will be using IPv4. And let us keep all the default by default as is, and let me just do the public access as yes. Okay, scroll down, and I think we are good to go with it, and let's get started with that. However, for now I don't want to enable monitoring, so that's why I'm just disabling it, and I'll just click on create database. The initial setup is completed. Meanwhile, let me just launch an EC2 instance so that we would be able to connect it, right? So yeah, if you can see that I was just trying the Aurora one, okay, earlier. So that's why it is showing as deleting. Here there is one more catch in deletion of AWS Aurora. Why? We are going to see the same as well. Now there is one thing that you need to observe is when you are creating your AWS Aurora, Amazon Aurora, it is creating two more headers also. Okay, one is the reader instance and another one will be the writer one. Okay, so how you would be using is I will be telling you in the same video. For now, let us wait and let's create the EC2 instance for the meantime. Let me go to EC2 and let me launch an instance. So this would be Aurora server, and here let me select the EMI as Ubuntu. Let me scroll down, and the key pair would be I won't be proceeding with any sort of key pair because we would be doing all everything on the web itself. And here I'll allow the HTTP traffic, and let me launch the instance. Okay, the instance is also ready. Now what we need to do is we need to upgrade the system, followed by we need to install an SQL client so that we would be able to connect to the database. Okay, so let me just click over here and let us wait for some time for the instance to be up and running. Now, one more thing, the quiz for you is in which port MySQL runs on. right? It is 3306, right? So in your instance in the security group, just make sure whether that port is enabled or not. If not, just enable it. So go to security, and here in the inbound rule, just click on inbound edit rules, and here you need to enable port number 3306. So click on add rule, and here you need to type MySQL Aurora. Okay, and here it directly took the port number, and for this one I'll just take anywhere. Okay, and let me save the rules. Okay, so security group is also configured. Now let us go back to the instance, and let us just launch the instance as it is ready already. Okay, let me connect it. Okay, all right, let me go as a super user so that things would be easier for us for now. However, that is not recommended. Okay, so like yeah, for demonstration purpose, I am using the root user. Okay, however, feel free to experiment yourself. Okay, I have tried the same with the normal user and it works fine. Okay, so let me just why I am using root user, because I don't want to use sudo every time. Okay, the second option, if you don't want to do the same thing, is you can just add your current user into the root group. Okay, so by doing so, you won't be asked with the sudo thing, right? So let's just do one thing. Let's just update the system. So apt update. So once update is completed, what we are going to do is we are going to install MySQL client. Okay, so let us wait for some time. All right, it is done. So apt install MySQL client. Okay, press yes. Okay, and let it get installed. Okay, it is installed now. Now let me clear the screen and go back to RDS and check whether the things are ready or not. Okay, so it is showing that RDS Aurora cluster is available. Okay, however, the reader and writer are still in creation. Okay, let me just do a refresh. When I go inside the RDS Aurora cluster, you can see there are reader and writer endpoints which it's given to us. Okay, so let us wait for some time for it to be created. However, you can still use the writer endpoint. Okay, so how would you use it? It would be just simple as it sounds. So basically, MySQL -h followed by the hostname. So you need to copy the hostname from the writer. Okay, let me copy it and paste it here. Okay, hyphen u admin, which was the username followed by the password. That what it is showing that a user password command line, it can be insecure. Okay, cannot connect to MySQL server on this thing. Okay, let me clear it and check what the actual issue is. Let us wait for some time for it to be get it created. Okay, once it is created, then we'll again try it. All right, if you are getting that same error, okay, don't worry, let us wait for some time and let it get created. Once it is created, we'll try again, and I'm pretty much sure that it will work fine. Okay, so let's wait. Okay, so where are we? Yeah, so as you can see, the writer instance is now available. What we are going to do is we are going to try again with the writer one. Let me copy the writer endpoint. Okay, and let me rerun the same command, and let me just change the host name just in case, and at the meantime let it create the reader endpoint. Okay, so let me just paste it and enter. Okay, now as you can see, as I said earlier, it will take time but it will definitely work, right? So let me just run show databases. Okay, and you can see commands are running. Let me create a new database. Create database Aurora. Okay, and now when I execute show database, Aurora is here, right? Now what I am going to do is let me just do exit. Okay, And here this time what we are going to do is, let me just delete this endpoint, and we are just waiting for the reader endpoint to be created. So once it is created, we are just going to demonstrate whether it is able to uh, delete the created database Aurora or not. Okay, let me go back to RDS and let us wait for some time whether it is getting created or not. Once it is again created and available, we are going to try the same action, and definitely we are going to receive an error that you don't have the necessary permissions. Okay, so that is something that we are expecting. Okay, so that's the beauty of Aurora. We don't need to worry about reader writer instance. It just creates for you by default. Okay, apart from the 6 copies that it is creating, these are one of the additional benefits that we get, right? Okay, let's wait for some time, and we'll just do the operations on read. Okay, and followed by how to actually delete the Aurora DB. Okay, there are a few things that we need to consider here. Okay, once it is ready, let's get started again. Okay, so as you can see, it's now configuring. Okay, let's still wait for some time. All right, so now you can see the reader instance is also available. Let me go and copy the endpoint. Okay, and let us just go back, rerun the command. Let me replace the host name and press enter. Okay, we are now connected. When I run show databases, okay, you can see Aurora is present here. Now let me just drop this database, or let me just create a new database. So create database read Aurora. Aurora. All right, Aurora. Let me just write as Aurora. Okay. What error we are getting? Running in read-only mode, right? As we have copied, what we have copied, we copied the endpoint for reader one, right? We copied the endpoint for reader instance. That's why we are getting this error. What the error is? Running in read-only mode. However, if you run the same command with the writer endpoint, you will be able to create the database, right? So that was all about creation and creation of Aurora RDS. Now let us see how you can delete it. Now, if you try to directly delete it through action, you can see that the delete option is grayed out. Now, why it is so? Because there is some child dependency which is present, right? So you need to delete the child first, then and then only you will be able to delete it. So just click on delete on the reader instance followed by writer instance, and then let's delete the main parent. So delete main. Okay, done. Now let me go again up and let me just delete this one as well. Okay, still in progress, and let me delete RDS Aurora. Delete. I don't want to create any sort of snapshot, and that's why I just want to delete it directly. Okay, so I'm going to delete the cluster as well. So the source and the destinations are also so the parent and the child both are getting deleted now. Okay, now let me go back to instance and let me just terminate it. So the process for termination of instance is simple. Okay, just go and terminate the instance. That's it. Okay, and it will just get terminated. So here it will just take some time, and it will nearly take 4 to 5 minutes, and the instance will get and the cluster will get deleted. All right, so that was all about the practical demonstration for RDS Aurora, and I hope you learned from this specific one, and see you in the next one.